Alright, so let's assume the vacuum system's already been set up in Colorado. So the one thing that we're going to be worried about is making sure there's water flow to both the magnetron and the Hyphems power supply.
So it's gonna be dedicated hoses, right?
What's that?
It should be separate hoses.
Yes, they will be separate hoses, but she will have all that situated at her lab. So then we're going to plug in the power supply, both the power module and the control module. They turn on automatically.
So that's for that's the Hyphems, right?
That's correct. All right. Then we're going to turn on the DC power supply. All this will be different in Colorado. Okay.
So you just press this button. This is still.
This is a remote control supply. Hers is different. She has a different style of MDX supply, so the control will be on the power supply in Colorado.
Okay.
Alright. We're going to make sure our computer is connected to the power supply using the USB. And we're going to open the Z-Pulsar software. Alright, so the important features to note here is that this is gray, indicating that the DC power supply is not yet connected to the Hyphems power supply. And this is red, showing that our interlock is open. So we're going to turn around, and we're going to close the interlock switch on the Z-Pulsar by rotating it. See that it turns green on the power supply screen. Alright.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is ramp up the voltage in our DC supply, so we're going to turn it on. We're always going to operate in voltage control mode. We're going to bring it up to 600 volts.
So that's gonna be the same also in Colorado.
Yes. We're going to turn back to our screen, and we're going to press charge on the main menu screen. And what you're going to hear is the switch of the Hyphems power supply closing. So you heard that noise? Okay.
So you don't see any changes here?
No. So then what we're going to do is we're going to load a pulse recipe. We have a number of them here. We'll select this one. So we just go load, we select which one we want, and we press OK. At that point, we will click Start Pulsing. The Z-Pulsar will start pulsing, and if we were to have a working gas in our chamber now, we would be pulsing.
Okay.
Right now, since we don't have gas, we have an arc condition. Actually, now we actually do have a plasma. I don't know of what. So if you go around, we'll take a look at it.
It's running out of battery though. Oh, yeah, we have a plasma here.
So we actually do have a plasma, even though we really have no gas in the chamber, so we have residual nitrogen. So just come follow me and we'll shut everything down. So we'll click Stop Pulsing. This waveform here shows the pulse. When we click the red button, Stop Pulsing, everything will shut off. What we want to do before we leave the power supply is to make sure it's discharged, so the capacitors aren't live. So we'll click Discharge. Once again, you'll hear the switch. This time it'll open. At that point, I'll hit the emergency stop just to make sure everything's safe. I'll ramp down the voltage on the DC supply. I'll turn the output off. I'll come around. I'll turn the Hyphems supply off by unplugging it. I'll come back to the DC supply and turn it off. At this time I can close the program and disconnect the computer, and then I come back to where we started and I can turn the water off. And that is how you run the Z-Pulsar.
Okay.